Hi, Shadow Dancer here, Darcy, but I call myself the Shadow Dancer because I am a starseed alchemist and I believe in looking at the dark as well as the light and not spiritually bypassing it. It's important. How is everybody doing? I'm finding my voice, and maybe in the process I can help you find yours. This is my 4th video, and they're not as easy as I thought they'd be. I said in previous videos that I was an actress for a long time, so you'd think that the camera would not be a thing for me, but it's a thing. And I think it's because I'm coming on as Darcy. I'm not coming on as a character with a script. I'm just shooting from the hip, and it's actually really important to me with these videos. Maybe at some point down the road, I'll get into fancy editing. I don't think so though. A little bit maybe, but my nature, my soul essence, and you know, I'm at level 47 in this lifetime, and I'm just kind of feeling more real, more raw, more authentic. I like the natural light. I might get a professional camera, professional microphone at some point, but I don't know. So for those of you out there, let's just have a real conversation about this. Those of you out there that are looking to either start making videos or start doing something else with your life other than what you're doing. So right now I'm working 2 restaurants as a server, 2 restaurants. And this ascension process that a lot of us are going through, I don't know where you are in your process, if you're just woken up, if you're in the middle, knee deep in Kundalini awakening, dark night of the soul, if you are in your isolation phase, if you're coming out of your isolation phase. There are graduations to this path that seem to be fairly common among pretty much everybody who goes through the process. So wherever you are in this process, at some point, working a 3D matrix job is just not, it's not going to cut it anymore. It's just not going to cut it anymore. I was going to one of my restaurant jobs the other day, and I always stop at 7-Eleven to get myself some water for my shift. And I live in South Florida, so it's hot. It's hot, and we're getting into the humid time, and it's not an easy thing to be a waitress outside in the humidity, so I need my water. And I always stop at this 7-Eleven, and there is the cutest kid that works there. And he always says, hi, hey, Miss Darcy, how you doing today? You going to work? And I say, yeah, you know, we have our fun exchange, and then I go in. And so I go in, and he just has this different energy. He just seems very downtrodden and kind of inside himself. And this kid is pretty extroverted. He's always smiling. He always has a spark in his eye, and he didn't seem to. So when I went up to the counter, I said, what's up? And he looked at me and he said, Miss Darcy, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. And I said, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I know so many people who are there right now, including myself, which is why I'm here. And I don't know where this is going to go. We'll see where this is going to go. This might lead to some other things. This might become a thing. Use my experiences and my knowledge for other things, and this might be the vein that I do that. But anyway, so I laughed a little bit, and I said, I'm not laughing at you, kid. I'm giggling because so many people are there, like my parents, my grandparents, you know, your parents, your grandparents went to work, clocked in, clocked out, retired, and died, and nobody thought anything else of it. It's just what you did. You know, it's just what you do when you come down here. You know, you go to school, you go to work, you raise a family, you retire, you have some fun with the grandkids, and that's it. That's just what you do. So over the years and over the decades, more and more people have been questioning things and waking up, and we're, as most of you know, in quite a time right now. So I told the kid, I said, you know, you're so young, you have so much ahead of you. Don't stay in this machine. Figure it out, because there's so many people out there that are living their passions. There are so many people out there that own their time and own their lives. And there's nothing wrong if you do work a service job. There's nothing wrong if you do work at 7-Eleven. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is for those who are feeling that something's gnawing at them, that there's something more, for them, those people need to follow that calling. I actually think that there's nothing more respectable and honorable than somebody who works as a laborer or customer service or as a service worker. Our waitresses, our waiters, our bartenders, our plumbers, our electricians, our construction workers, etc., nothing but respect. These labor service jobs are everything. They are the backbone of our society. They are the foundation of everything. They make everything run. And without them, the people with a lot of money wouldn't have anything. So, you know, they are the ones that serve them their luxurious dinner. They are the ones that service their rich cars. They are the ones that clean their beautiful homes. You know, it all feeds into the beautiful flower of life. So absolutely nothing but respect. If you are at that place, however, where you feel like that's something you want to move on from, you're not alone. That's happening more now than ever, including with me. So I told him, I said, you know, figure it out. Go do some creative things. Open the creative channels. I think there's so many of us that are just blocked creatively. Like even me, when I get on here, and I'm just going to be real with you, I'm going to shoot from the hip as much as I possibly can. I'm going to be sharing so many things here. I'm going to be talking about my experiences. I'm going to be going into some really deep stories too, talking about the things I've learned. But the creative blocks that I have, let me just share a story with you. And these creative blocks link to branching out and finding a purpose, because they come from creative flow. They come from being in flow and doing something that is more heart and soul based. And I think our creativity, most of us, that kind of gets locked down when we enter the school system. And, you know, sometimes parents lock that down, even if they're well-meaning teachers. That essence kind of gets locked down. So I'm going to share a story here. It's pretty brutal. I mean, I have more brutal stories I'll share. It's not really that brutal, but it made an impact. So in kindergarten, I had already gone through some pretty intense stuff in my home life, some pretty intense stuff, but I was still quite a wild little mystic child. You know, my little starseed colors were bright, and I was very friendly and very social and very creative, and I had been an only child for a long time, and I had learned to kind of dance with myself and my own magic at that point. So when I entered the school system, which I was really excited to do, by the way, I loved school, and I honestly loved school all the way to college. I just loved school. I loved learning, and I loved being around people. So I got into kindergarten, and we had this project where we had to make butterflies. We all had to make butterflies, and the teacher was going to put these butterflies up on the wall. So we all got our crayons and our colored pencils and started making these butterflies, and they're pretty big butterflies. They're going to be like maybe 10 inches wide, and she was going to post them up on the wall above her chair when we were done. So we all got done with our butterflies, you know, cut them out, had them all colored, and we stood in line to give our butterflies one by one to this teacher. And I was almost to her in line, and the person in front of me was just giving their butterfly to her when she announced, my heart's racing when I'm saying this, when she announced, by the way, I don't like black butterflies. So if any of you have done any black butterflies, I will not accept them. And I had colored the most beautiful monarch butterfly. It was the most beautiful. I love monarchs. I've always loved monarchs. And it was gorgeous, and it had a lot of black in it. So I just looked down at my butterfly, and I thought, oh my God, you know, what do I do? And this fear rushed through me, and shame and guilt about this beautiful creation that I had made that was wrong. So the kid in front of me had given his or her butterfly to the teacher, and I stepped up, and she looked at my butterfly and just with ice eyes glanced up at me and said, I said no black butterflies. She proceeded to grab my butterfly, stood up, ripped up the butterfly in front of the other children and threw it in the trash. I was in kindergarten. And I just looked at her. I was frozen. I just wanted to sob. I had a mixture of emotions from what I can remember. The whole thing, I just remember being frozen. It's hard to remember a lot of details sometimes that far back, but I do remember being frozen. And she just looked down at me with these ice eyes and pointed to my chair. So I went over to my chair and I sat down. And I think there was only one other person. For some reason, all the kids that day, from what I recall, didn't do a monarch butterfly. Everybody had done pink and blue and everything. And one other person had black in their butterfly, but somehow she justified it, saying it didn't have that much and it was okay. And she put that butterfly up. Obviously, she had a thing with me. I don't know why, but why would you have a thing against a kindergartner? I don't understand that at all. But I sat down and I don't remember anything after that. I just know that that story, that moment, along with, a lot of other preceding moments, either with parents or teachers, where, because I was very creative, and my acting and my dancing and my singing, I was very sensitive about what I did, and every time anything I created or put out there was put down, that lock on my creativity just got tighter and tighter. And I think that's part of the reason I went into acting, to be honest. And I share this story with you because, this links back into what I was talking about a lot of us wanting to break out of situations we're not happy with, but we don't know what the lock and the key is there. So, I had a lot of situations like that, which I'm sure a lot of you have too, where, parents or teachers or whatever, we're like free and creative and in flow, and we have our imaginary friends, and our imagination is just wonderful when we're little. My dogs. Your imagination is just wonderful, and you're having a good time, and you're just flowing with it. You're not judging it. You're not thinking about it. It's just who you are. It's your essence. You come in with an essence. It's a culmination of your past lives. If you're a starseed, which all of us have starseed in us. But some of us are kind of like on a specific mission here. But point being is we all come in with an essence. We all come in with an essence. And then somewhere along the line, and it usually starts when we enter the school system, some of us are blessed with parents that are like, hey, shine your light, snowflake. Hey, guys, shh. Shine your light, snowflake, do whatever, just be who you are, which is, it's a really blessed situation to be in. But even if you have that, you enter the school system and you have teachers, and somewhere along the line, you're gonna meet a teacher, I guarantee you, and also classmates, bullies, which I was severely bullied from grade 3 to grade 6. I was severely bullied. I was the heavy kid with braces and frizzy permed hair that the teacher would have to come pull out of the bathroom, because after recess I'd be in the bathroom sobbing, because every recess I would get attacked by the bullies and made fun of. They would hold hands and do a circle around me and do like a ring around the rosy thing and chant horrible things about me and reduce me to tears every recess. It was brutal for 3 years, and I would end up in the bathroom just out of my mind, destroyed, in tears. Teacher would come get me. We had meetings with the principals about it, everything, and I don't really remember my mom or dad doing much about it. My dad was kind of all about his job, and my mom was wonderful domestically, and we had a beautiful house, and she made lots of wonderful meals, and I know that there was some kind of pat on the head nurturing, you're great, don't worry about it. But I don't think they understood the depth of what was going on with the bullying. So the butterfly, and then all the moments after that, and then the bullying, if any of you've gone through bullying, right, that just pours cement on that creative lock. So you've got all these things. I actually turned anorexic after those 3 years because I was so pissed off about the bullying, I was like, you know what? I'm going to starve myself. And when the braces come off and everything, you'll be sorry. I mean, yeah, I did. I really pushed my body through a lot in junior high, trying to get revenge on them. Yeah, so we have our little flashbacks and our rebellions. But anyway, my message is that, so whatever you've gone through, we've all gone through some of us worse than others, some of us have horrid stories, some of us not so horrid, but there's cement in that lock nonetheless. So that's basically what I'm doing. My dogs are happy with these videos, is I am coming out of a 4-year chrysalis with my spiritual work, my deep dive, my Kundalini awakening, and my dark nights of the soul that have been beyond anything I could possibly comprehend was possible, and what I could handle in my sanity and further. I am not joking. And I'm starting to come out of that isolation phase, which was absolutely necessary. That isolation phase was absolutely necessary. Living alone, working as a waitress, but not really hanging out with anybody, no TV, no internet, working with plant medicines and just doing the deep work for 4 deep years. It's been intense, and it's been wonderful, and it's been a nightmare, and it's been the most magical, exquisitely beautiful time of my life. And that's part of the reason why I coined myself as the Shadow Dancer. Shadow is a nickname that I had a long, long time ago, but I thought it was absolutely fitting. So to get into that creative lock, the kid at 7-Eleven, any of you out there who are looking to break out of what you're doing, I salute you, I applaud you. This is not easy work. This is not work for the weak. It is not work for those who are easily disappointed. You're gonna have to push through a lot of resistance. You're gonna have to push through maybe friends and family. You're gonna have to push through the world, because in your program, everything out here is kind of reflecting back to you, your mind and your subconscious. Everything out here is gonna throw back to you what you've got going on in your mind. So initially, when you start trying to punch through those blocks and you start trying to create something new, that wiring and that programming is gonna say, nope, you know where you belong. Get back in your box, do your thing. This is not for you. Come on, you know that. You can't do that. Who are you kidding? Etc., etc., etc. Hey guys, what you doing? You going crazy? So that programming is going to do that. That's going to be the initial reaction, and you got to punch through that, and that's where I am right now. Do you know how hard it is to do these videos? All I'm doing is sitting here and talking to you, sharing my experiences. That creative lock with all that cement, that butterfly that was ripped up, the bullying, all the sports teams that I was not picked to be on because nobody wanted Darcy on their team. Amongst a lot of other experiences in my life. But to any of you out there who have been shut down, who have felt locked up, who have felt like you're in a cage and are wanting to break out, I salute you. And maybe there's something that I can say in my videos that might just nudge you. You're not alone. You're not alone. A lot of us are doing this right now. And that cute kid at 7-Eleven, bless his heart, he had a twinkle in his eye, and when I left, he said, "Thank you so much," because I kind of gave him a pep talk. I said, "You got to do it. I got to do it. You know, I'm in the same place, so we got to figure it out." Just little things like, I don't know, color. Start coloring. Just something. I don't care how simplistic or childish it might seem. In fact, the more childish it is, the better. Something simple like coloring. Color. Watch some cartoons. What's your favorite cereal? I don't know. Get a bowl of Fruit Loops and watch Tom and Jerry. Get back in touch with that part of you that just smiles for no reason. You know? That's what you gotta do. So, having said all that, I just wanted to talk about that for a moment. And, excuse my dogs, they're having a really good time. See, I wanna, tell them to chill, but I don't wanna interrupt their fun. You got this. I got this. And every time I come on here and I talk about things, anybody who tunes in, anybody who takes the ride with me or whatever, you know, it's all the way it's supposed to be. So to anybody who's watching, thank you for watching, and honor your heart, honor the child inside that has been silenced in one way or another, because it's time. It's time. It's time for all of us, our inner childs, to wake up. And, well, not wake up, but to come out of the closet, to come out of the dark room they've been in, because they were told that they were too much, or told they were too colorful, or told they were too weird. No such thing. There's no such thing. It's all just perception. Up, down, left, right. It's all just somebody's perception. Truly. The weirder you are, the more I hope you come out and come play with the rest of us. I'm doing the work, and I hope you do too. Lots of love to you, and yeah, I'll see you next time.